Hello there, very warm welcome. I'd like to start today's video with a quote from Richard Steele. He said, whenever you commend, add your reasons for doing so. It is this which distinguishes the approbation of a man of sense from the flattery of sycophants and admiration of fools. And that leads me really nicely onto my topic today. A couple of years ago, I read a brilliant article that I went and dug out just recently on the Psychology Today website, and it was by Deborah and Mark Parker, and it opened with a story that I'd also like to share. It goes something along the lines of one day when Sultan Mahmud, who reigned 998 to 1010, was hungry. He brought a dish of eggplant. That's aubergine to us Brits. He liked it very much and said, "Eggplant is an excellent food." A courtier began to praise the eggplant with great eloquence. When the Sultan grew tired of the dish, he said, "Eggplant is a very harmful thing." Whereupon the courtier began to speak in hyperbole of the harmful qualities of the eggplant. "A man alive," said the Sultan, "have you not just uttered the praises of the eggplant?" "Yes," said the courtier, "but I am your courtier and not the eggplant's courtier." Now, I'm guessing we'll recognize in this Middle Eastern tale the sort of smarmy practices of a toady, a lackey. And there's a number of ways to tell somebody that's to tell the difference between a flatterer and a true friend. So sycophancy is flattery that is very obedient, or it's an indication of deference to another, to an excessive or servile degree. A user of sycophancy is referred to as a sycophant, or a yes man, or sometimes in a more sort of derogatory fashion, a suck up. The adjective, sycophantic, it's perfect for describing someone who uses flattery or attempts to please somebody to get what they want, many a time in an unethical fashion even. Now, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, a sycophant is a person who praises powerful people in order to get their approval. And the web-based dictionary.com defines sycophancy as self-seeking or servile flattery. But it's this idea that I'm kind of fixing upon today, that a sycophant as a person who praises powerful people in order to get their approval. That's what I'm going to be honing in on a bit today, because I see this happen in the hypnotherapy field a great deal. And it's kind of what I'm going to be aiming at and what I'm aiming for with this particular video. Sycophants use kind of artificially flavored, hollow comments that are meant to give their superiors a sort of ego massage. And this could easily sort of please someone who looks forward to such behaviors from people around them, Therefore, sycophancy, it doesn't just undermine the dignity of those who give it, but it confers no meaningful benefit on its recipients. Not really, not when you look deeper. And its prevalence should be seen as harmful and outdated by everyone. According to some research by Oregon State University, sycophancy and sort of kowtowing can really sap energy, leading to a drop in efficiency, a tendency towards irritability even. So, there's some very real life downsides to it, over and beyond the sort of downside that I'm talking about today. There's a big difference between displays of appreciation and greetings that are given voluntarily and subservient actions that are kind of imposed. Sycophantic behavior only serves to reinforce outdated social attitudes, for example, and it can enable more harmful acts to people and society. And I think that in the field of hypnotherapy, it enables certain people to have more of a voice on occasion than perhaps they warrant or deserve. Now, independence of thinking is something that should be celebrated and encouraged. Critical thinking, I write and speak on that topic and related topics often. I'm encouraging critical thinking in the field of hypnotherapy is like a mantra of mine. Get the hypnotherapy field thinking more critically. It's a bumper sticker of mine. Often the people who really make a difference in society are those that perhaps don't quite fit in, the ones who don't act in the same way as everyone else, sometimes take risks rather than following the status quo. During lockdown, it was a real pleasure for me to work alongside my friend and professional peer, Mark Davis, the principal of the UK College of Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy. I lectured to a number of psychologists from a world famous children's hospital, working with him. And I found it so lovely to collaborate, to develop and to work alongside fellow professionals, rather than sort of competing. But we kind of share a vision, to help advance the standing of this field. And we share some common interests, such as disseminating the evidence base, adhering to science as much as possible. And I've learned from and shared in equal measure with him and between our colleges, all with a view to developing the field and its standing. Now, the point I want to make is we still re-question each other, we scrutinize each other's work, and we offer objective and beneficial ways that we think each other can improve. And there's no problem in doing that. There's no, it doesn't affect our friendship. It doesn't affect the amount of respect that we have for each other. And rather than, feeling affronted by it, we welcome it and we seek to develop and become better as a result. And it's not just kind of, we don't take it as a kind of rude critique or baseless criticism, for example. There are too many hypnotherapists that are out there, working out ways of trying to make money. Hypnotherapists struggle. Too many hypnotherapy trainers offer a range of gimmicks, and offering kind of gimmicks, then there are those that are trying to make the field of hypnotherapy better. We need to be better at what we do. We don't all need to be better marketers. If the field was perceived differently, we wouldn't need to market, because the field itself would be represented better in the eyes of the public. And the reason that great marketers are seen as the ones who thrive and are revered is because this field is struggling. It's, so many are stuck. The field in general is stuck, the frontline hypnotherapy field, that is. And it's not perceived as being credible. And I think it's full of sycophants nodding like a desktop bobblehead at everything that the influential and popular people say. And we've seen within the political environment how problematic populism is and can be. And it's not too much different in the hypnotherapy field. So I think we need to stop being quite so sycophantic. We need to stop being afraid of repercussions, of asking questions of those who are, pinning our field to the basement floor. We need to rise up. And we only do that by being better. We only get better as we develop credibility. And the people that, frontline hypnotherapists put on pedestals are not always very credible. They do not create the credibility. It doesn't filter down through our field. And they don't necessarily promote the kind of professionalism or higher ethical standards. I mean, sometimes they even kind of sneer at the suggestion of such. And the followers nod and agree, which are terrible messages to feed down if we want our field to develop. Within this field, within the last couple of years, we have had prominent trainers that have lied about their histories, about their backgrounds, about their careers, about their qualifications, while masses of frontline hypnotherapists have sat around nodding at them in the same way that the crowds did as the naked emperor strolled past. We have popular marketers and leaders in this field lying about how many clients they see and have seen, and marketers who see very few clients, but are giving business advice and strategies on how to have busy therapy rooms. We have people inventing protocols that have nothing other than anecdote to support their efficacy. And then we have people persecuted if they stand up and ask, rational and very reasonable questions. We have sycophants nodding in awe at it all and fueling the situation further. I've seen prominent trainers in the hypnotherapy field make factually incorrect statements or baseless claims, and masses of keen to please followers agree without pause for thought. On the rare occasions that these prominent people are ever called out or politely questioned, avid followers leap to their defense. They leap to the defense of their heroes, and they attempt to belittle those, and those that piped up, those that asked the questions, very often get put down, for example. So maybe we should stop being offended by the questioning or by the scrutiny, and welcome a change in attitude, and quit the sycophantism, and welcome the scrutiny. It's easy to spot the sycophants and to tell if you're being sycophantic yourself. Sycophants are not usually very interested in the needs of others. They're very often incompetent. They're often found to be making mistakes, and it's often a reason that it's so easy for them to be a yes man, to someone who spoon feeds them some rhetoric. They want everyone to know how important they are sometimes, they'll gladly make it known to the collective. They tend to think of, things to their own advantage, and often trying to impress someone or other to suit their best interest, But the most common sign, I think, that we all need to be on the lookout for more is that they tend to agree with people as a way of garnering the relationship and being liked or winning favor with that individual, especially if that individual is prominent. They may even change their mind as a means of keeping in agreement with someone, even if they don't actually agree, or even if, there's no real foundation for that agreement. Sycophants often lack self-confidence and self-belief, which can lead to mistakes. It can lead to poor judgments or something embarrassing, and it can affect the people around them. Eugene V. Debs once stated, "I would rather 1,000 times be a free soul in jail than to be a sycophant and coward in the streets." And I agree. I love that sentiment. If we see it happening and we accept the premise that someone is being a sycophant, or that praise given is unmerited, of course, we could just ignore it politely. And more usefully, perhaps, we could try to understand what the sycophants are trying to get, how they gain from it. Most sycophants are looking for approval or security. You might let them know that they may get neither if others don't think that they're being honest, behind the scenes. And explained kindly and appropriately. Of course, anything that you do, make it kind, make it a well-meaning course of action that you're taking. So come on, hypnotherapists, effective mental health services and options are needed so much in the world currently. And we have a chance to shine a light on what we do. And we can use this climate to dispense with being so sycophantic, to increase our critical thinking faculty, to ask healthy questions, to adopt effective lines of inquiries in ways that are going to develop our field and develop what we do and help us raise our game. None of us gain from being a field of yes men nodding at the same small collection of people stood on pedestals. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Do subscribe to this channel to get notifications of my latest videos as they happen. Do go visit my college website for details of our upcoming classroom-based courses and all of our online courses and on hypnotherapy and self-hypnosis and so on. I'll send you my very best wishes. Goodbye for now.